Test, check, test, check, check, check. What's up, guys? This is Harry, Zeros Geckos, ShipZeros, Zeros Geckos vlog. I think it's vlog 24, ramble vlog 24 or something. It's Thanksgiving today, and I'm feeding crickets. Feeding geckos never ends. But here I am. I'm doing a little bit of work today. Had some family time for brunch, and then had some family yesterday for dinner. But yeah, I I recorded a vlog. I actually recorded 2 vlogs in the last 2 months, and I just never uploaded it. The last vlog I recorded was I was driving back up from Aquashella. I was invited by Tammy, who I met from Palm Street, so I'm very thankful to her for inviting me out to Aquashella. She got me in, and I was able to kind of visit and and see and meet a few fish vendors and coral vendors, and it was a good time. I had a good time just enjoying the show. And then 2 weeks before that, I was at Tinley. I was vending with AJ. He had 3 tables or so, and then I took half a table and I flew out over there with ShipZeros. And I was vending ShipZeros. I think the other shippers were not shipping people's packages and purchases, so I ended up doing it with Simon, Uncanny Geckos. He was helping me out a lot, and he actually dropped off all the boxes for me post the show. And so we were able to fulfill that service for people that needed it at the show, even though we weren't planning on doing it. So it was all good. I think it was the last few months since we launched. We soft launched ShipZeros in I think July, and then now it's almost December. I'm just tired. I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm tired. Not only is there ShipZeros, but I've been grinding a lot this year with Zeros Geckos, trying to elevate the business, trying to do more shows on Palm Street, and so I've been very consistent with Palm Street shows every Monday, with the exception of taking 1 or 2 weeks off here and there. But in general, I've been on the grind all year long, and I'm thankful, I'm grateful, because it has done well, and business has been good, and people are receiving nice animals. And yeah, I produced a lot of animals, a lot of geckos this year. This is the most breeding pairs I've ever done. I think I did over 100, and made a lot of really cool stuff, trying to make better and better things. And I do see that with this hobby, a lot of the quality of animals are improving for sure. A lot of different morphs are a lot more accessible at a more friendly price point, and that may be to kind of the dismay of people that kind of frown down on producing so many geckos and price dumps, and people like crapping on Palm Street because they see it as kind of a wholesale dump fest. And we've talked about this in my past episodes before. Like, yeah, it can be that, but it's really what you make of it. And I see, I brought up AJ before too. He just did a show this past Tuesday for Black Friday sale week, and he did very well. His animals were stellar. Price point held pretty high. His average price per animal must have been is very high. I mean, relative to what we do, And so I think my average price point in general hovers around the 200 range. It's possible to still do okay in this hobby and in this market, and still produce some pretty good animals to kind of circulate in the community, because we talk about this on the Gecko Pod before. We're always about kind of upping the stock. Everybody up your stock. Everybody produce better animals. Less people produce. We should have less people producing wholesale stuff, and we just want to up the quality of the animals. However you see that, however you take that. That's kind of how we've been operating, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for all the support that many of you guys have given me. Even if you don't buy animals from me, you're in the Palm Streets, you're kind of in the DMs, just chatting it up and talking about geckos and asking me questions, and I really like it. I appreciate everything, all the comments, all the DMs. Hopefully, I haven't missed too much, but I feel like I've gotten to reply to everybody as much as possible. So I'm really thankful for that. When I was driving up from Aquashella, I made this vlog, this ramble vlog, and I was talking about various aspects of building a brand, and I was talking about the shipping business and some issues there in regards to difficulties and hurdles. Not that I don't love it. I think I really just enjoy building things. I think I love the process of starting something from scratch and building it up all the way, whatever all the way means, right? So for Zeros Geckos, it took 3-4 seasons to become profitable, and then now I'm just really enjoying. I'm really enjoying the aspect of the geckos and making really cool stuff and kind of dreaming of what else I can do. I probably can't I can't increase my operations because I'm only one man. I did hire somebody to help me for 8 hours a week, which she's been incredible. She's Lauren. She's my wife's aunt, and she's been a big supporter, and she does a lot, and she works hard. She started 2 weeks ago, and has already been a huge help in terms of cleaning, in terms of just allowing me more mental space to do and focus on things I need to do. With the shipping, I've just spent a tremendous amount of time trying to work out technical issues, working out vision and strategy for how I want to market to gain more exposure, to really see what direction I want to take the shipping the shipping business in. So I've just been spending a lot of time with ShipZeros and trying to figure out that space. Talking about building out a brand, I really believe that to build out a solid brand, you kind of have to be yourself. You don't have to be like a mean-spirited person if that's who you are, but you should still find ways to give tremendous value to your customers. Be yourself in the sense of your personality. You don't have to be me. You don't have to be David at Tiki's. You don't have to be any one type of personality. Just be yourself, but also understand your audience. Understand who they are, what they need, and you're not their hero. You are kind of their guide. So you are you, and you have the creativity to do what you need to do with your business, but you are not the hero in your customer's life. So a lot of times it's cringy when you see some businesses operate in a way that is like kind of demeaning to the customers, like put their customers on blast in their DMs. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And to me, I'm like, dude, just even if it's a bad experience, even if your customer is like a bad person, legitimately, like you just gotta chill, like just take your licks and just move on. Your brand is very important in how people kind of see you, portray you, and then whether they're going to trust you or not. And I really believe that as you build your brand, at the core of your brand, you have to really understand your personal values, right? How do you see the world? I'm going to get a little philosophical here. How do you see the world, and what are your values in personally? And what I mean by that is, I come from a religious background, right? Within the past, before I came into the hobby, kind of in transition for the past decade. Before that, I was working in church ministry, and I grew up religious. I grew up Christian, and I grew up in church, going to church, and I fell away for a little bit when I was in college. Did the normal college / early 20s scene of whatever people do, and I came back and reconnected back with faith, and in a way that became very personal for me. And the reason why I bring this up is because my worldview and my values is very, very much about giving and serving, right? It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what socioeconomic status you're in, no matter your ethnicity, your culture. I believe the core principle of who I exist and as a human being is that this life is not just for myself. I truly believe that. I believe I can enjoy the spoils of it. I can enjoy my family. I can enjoy everything that I've kind of poured into and built up when it comes to business. I can reap those benefits and I can enjoy those things. And at the same time, the main thrust of my life is not just for myself. It is truly, truly to give and serve to a community that has given to me, right? I truly believe that my purpose in life, connected to the religious stuff, but if you strip away the religious stuff and you make it just a more general principles of humanity, I really believe that I exist to. It doesn't matter what context I'm in, but I'm called to serve, to give, and to build up, really elevate and beautify whatever space I'm in. I'm trying to say things without making it too like religious or like theological. The reason why I share this is because it is very much at the brand of Zeros Geckos and ShipZeros. I see everything as whatever context I'm in, whether it's a church context, whether it's Zeros Geckos, a reptile breeder and seller, a shipping logistics company, a doctor, an engineer. It doesn't matter. Whatever context I am in, or others are in that believe in this concept and whatever. I'm just literally, you can see me trying to strip all the religious chatter out, but I really believe that it's tending our gardens. I really believe that whatever cards I'm dealt in life, it is kind of my garden to tend to. It wasn't always like this, by the way. A lot of growing up was, you're selfish, right? You're gonna try to just hoard as much as you can for yourself, put others down so that you can elevate yourself, right? You could step all over people in order to elevate yourself to the top, which is, in general, the American way. A capitalistic society, it's very selfish. It's all about them. Screw the competition. Let me just elevate us. Screw everybody. It's not communal whatsoever. But given my religious background, given my cultural background when it comes to this Chinese culture, that we are very familial, we are very for the community. We kind of lay down our own desires for the sake and the betterment of the community in general. So that, coupled with this Christian religious background of serving and giving, it's ingrained in me. Whether or not I talk about those things, it's ingrained in me to give as much as possible to others. So with Zeros Geckos, I don't talk about this stuff. With ShipZeros, I don't really talk about this stuff, right? But I'm talking about it now because I'm trying to hopefully give you guys some value when it comes to building your brand. You don't have to be religious to understand the concept of giving. Even Gary Vee, which, I've read his books, I've listened to a lot of his podcasts and his content. This dude is not religious at all, to my understanding. But he wrote an entire book, Jab, 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 Left Hook, Right Hook. I forgot the title, but the entire premise of that book is that you give, you give, you give, you give, you give. Give away free content, give away education, give away helping others, give away your time and resources to help others. And then when you need to ask for things, people know that you've already been given for years. And then when you ask for things, then it doesn't feel snaky. It doesn't feel like you're just trying to take from people. Because people know your history, they see that your general brand is about giving. So for me, what I'm trying to build into my brands of Zero Geckos and ShipZeros is I want to educate with the Gecko Pod. Palm Street, I'm on there for up to 5 to 9 hours sometimes, and sometimes I sell $1,000. Sometimes I sell like more than that, and it doesn't matter. I'm on there a very long time because I try to answer as many questions as possible. I try to read every single comment, and I do that because I really believe that I exist and belong in this community, to help, to give, to serve, right? So just as I've learned from you guys, I've taken from you guys, now that I'm at a place where, I have a little bit of a platform, I want to continue to give back and be generous, right? So all the way up, even before I started making any sort of sales or money with Zeros Geckos, we did the Gecko Pod, and I spent a tremendous amount of time with that and those projects with AJ to kind of give to share education and information to other people, to build a community, to rally people, to inspire people, to excite. Even to this day, people will message me, and I'm sure AJ as well, thanking us for getting them started in the hobby. They said, "Oh, I watched all your three and a half years of content, and it's really inspired me and moved me to a place to kind of dive in and either come back from when they were in previously, or else they're brand new." So even with Palm Street, I've sold a lot of animals to a lot of first timers, and I love that because this concept of giving and serving and creating a space where people feel welcome, that anyone can come and be a part of this hobby that we love. This is why I am here in this space. This is my brand, right? And so I'm hoping that you guys can really sit down and, obviously if you've been here a long time, you already know your brand. Maybe your brand is selling off species. You're really good at not just like selling crested geckos, but you have all these really cool micro geckos and these leaf tail geckos and all these like off species, and maybe that's your brand. You're a little bit different. Maybe your brand is education. You're more scholarly minded. You have foundation genetics, or you write a book, or you do these podcasts. Maybe your giftings and your skill sets more in hyping things up, like marketing and making things look as nice as possible, where for me, I'm not great at that, right? Like the Gecko Pod it looks like so like it's not fancy whatsoever. It looks super scrappy because that's not my strengths. But maybe that's your strengths. Maybe you can do things in a way to make your brand stand out and pop. Whatever it is your skills are and whatever it is that you value, like try to lean into that and build your brand. If your value is just about making as much money as possible, which is actually a lot of people's values, it becomes very apparent. And if that's how you want to operate, that's fine, but just know that know your audience. Is that what they want of a brand? If it works, it works, right? If you can be killing it, you can be really killing it in this hobby, and maybe that's all you think about is money and just mass producing geckos for the sake of money, and maybe that's what you want to do. And if people buy into that, then what can we say? The market is the market, the people are the people, and they'll want what they want. So really work on aligning your values to your brand, because it just makes it so much easier to build out your business, because it just comes naturally. Like if education is your brand, like you're just naturally going to want to produce content. You naturally want to dive into conversation, to have discussions on genetics, on on different morphs, and you're going to love it. You're going to spend hours on end obsessing over these things, and that'll be your brand. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I love when people are able to lock in, know what they want to do, and they just go full thrust forward no matter what people say. I've talked about this with AJ before in the Gecko Pod. Somebody asked us in the Q&A. By the way, we haven't done a Gecko Pod for so long. We've been so busy. But somebody asked, like, what do you guys want to be remembered for? I said, I really want to be known for inspiring people, for rallying a community to something that excites them, where they can find passion in and really inspire them to keep pressing on. So the reason why I do these vlogs is because I really want to help. Like I don't, it sounds really like simple, because it is. Like I do these vlogs because I have so many thoughts in my head, and I ramble a lot, but I feel like I need to communicate it to the greater community even if it only gets 100 likes, 200 likes, 1,000 likes, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to do it because it's just a part of who I am. I feel like I need to get these things off my chest, and I hope that it helps give value and provides some sort of comfort or some sort of like trigger in people to push forward and do more. Because I really think as people, as humanity, as a society, like the thing that gets to me the most is when you just waste your life, when you're just wasting away, right? I'm not saying what you're doing is a waste. What I'm saying is like it's the attitude, it's the character. Like everyone has so much potential to do so well, to do so good at whatever they're doing, whether it's here in the Gecko hobby, whether you're an artist in photography or digital media or cinematography or UI UX, or you're a back-end engineer, full stack dev, whatever. Like people have so much potential to be amazing at what they do, and a lot of people are, but a lot of people are not. The last Gecko Pod, I think, with AJ, we talked about kind of our business insights and business philosophy. And, we jokingly brought up David Goggins and how Goggins is this insane dude that is obsessed with exercise, but is also obsessed with pushing people to their limits, almost to an unhealthy degree. But the reason why I appreciate what he does is because he's showing us that you can obsess over something and you can be really, really good at something. I wouldn't go so far as like David Goggins, like kill yourself over it, but I do think that we do need to obsess a little bit over something that may or may not become true, and just take a risk and do it. So I do know that, with the Gecko hobby, we see people drop out all the time, selling their collections and bailing. But I also see people coming into the hobby and giving it a go, and I'm hoping that, if these videos, whether it's Gecko Pod or Zeros vlogs, reaches a few people to push them to keep going, even risk failure, right? I'm not going to say you're going to be successful 100%, but you can be if you're able to kind of unlock mentally, like who cares what people think, right? And also understand your values, understand your skill set. So you can't just go in blind thinking you're going to be amazing. You really have to soberly assess your skill set. Not everyone can do what I do, right? Not everyone can do what AJ does. Not everyone can do what all these other amazing breeders and influencers do, because we're all just different people. So you need to really understand who you are, what your strengths are, what your values are, align it, understand your audience, and find ways to lock it in and pour into that audience with the skills that you have. So understand who you are. A lot of self-awareness is very important for your brand, because when you are self-aware, when you understand your values, your skill sets, when you understand your customer base, you're going to find ways to align those things and to provide them value. What is the issues they're facing? What are the issues they're facing? What are the problems and the pain points that they're struggling with and dealing with? And then you see, I have the solution here. Let me provide it for you, right? So many people just come into the hobby. Let me just make these awesome geckos and just sell it to people. Like it is that in a simplistic way, but it's so much more than that. I think people need to understand that building a brand, building a business goes beyond just making amazing geckos and selling it, right? You can do that because a lot of people do that, and some people do fine. But what I'm trying to get at is that you guys all have so much more potential in this hobby, or outside of this hobby and into your other hobbies, or into even your career jobs. Find stuff that you are good at, figure out how your values can align with your venture, and how you can lock in, and eventually, it'll be able to sustain itself. I really believe that. I really believe you can find a way to monetize things. You can find a way to be financially sustainable so that you can continue to do what you love. It is definitely not easy. You definitely need support. You definitely need to hustle. You need to have side gigs. You need to have a spouse that supports you, that can bring in an income so you can support your family, and you just grind out business. if that's kind of what you want to do, right? Not everybody wants to do business. My wife is very good at a lot of things, cooking. She's good with her hands. She's an engineer, right? So she's whatever she does, she's very good at it. And she can lock in and focus and just find solutions for anything. It doesn't matter. She's a very good cook. Everything. But she has zero desire to ever want to do business. Right? So we're just different. She's just a cog in the machine, and she runs very well in whatever machine she plugs herself into. For me, I don't want to be that cog in the machine. I want to build the machine. And I want to have the freedom and the creativity to do whatever I want to do, but in a way that serves other people, right? So we're just different personalities. We have different skill sets, and I want to build the machine. I want to run the machine, and I want to build more of these machines. It just brings me so much fulfillment to work on these things. The hard part is you're building these machines. When you build your first machine, you have to invest a lot of money. You can lose money, and it's very difficult when you're grinding 60 to 80 hours a week and you're making no money. I get it. I did it. I did it for this. Zeros, Geckos, and ShipZeros are not my first businesses. I've had other ones that have failed, and a lot of time, a lot of investment, and not everything works out. I see everything as lessons to learn and to grind, and eventually sometimes the stars line up and you find something that you love that aligns with your values, your skill sets, and you know your audience, and it locks in. And so I want you guys to get there, whether it's the reptile hobby, whether it's something else. So yeah, that's it. I can just be repetitive, but yeah, really figure those things out, and I think you're going to find fulfillment not in making money. That does come and it will help a tremendous amount, but you'll find fulfillment in the process of building things. So I do think a lot of people in the hobby aren't in the mindset of entrepreneurship. They're just more cogs of them in the machine, and they just love their geckos, and they want to produce nice geckos and sell it, and just have like do that part of the hobby, and that's totally fine. But I'm speaking to the people that are more like to build the machine and are more entrepreneurial and know that they can do amazing things in this hobby to elevate the hobby, but to also be financially sustainable and profitable, where they can then further build more machines to then elevate the hobby more and more and more, right? So for me, Zeros Geckos is kind of ShipZeros is an extension of Zeros Geckos, and I'm just finding ways where we can continue to build and elevate the game to provide as much value to the community and the end users as much as possible, to really help it develop. And that is truly my goal, is to give as much value as possible to the community. And yeah, I think that's my motivation. My motivation for Zeros Geckos and ShipZeros is really that I'm trying to provide value to people, and I believe I am. And I think this is why I can keep going and spend insane amount of hours this year. It's crazy. I spent so much time in the businesses this year, and I'm not alone. I know a lot of other people do it too, but I'm just telling you that I'm incredibly tired by the end of this year, and I've done a lot. And a lot has been done with Zeros Geckos, a lot has been done with ShipZeros, and it continues to be a beast to build out. Like, I wish I can tell you and show you guys how much I do every week when it comes to ShipZeros to build the thing out. There's so much back end and tech stuff, and so much more ahead that I'm planning for and strategizing and building out, and it just takes so much time, and I love it. It's a money sink, but I see it like Zeros Geckos. Zeros Geckos in the first 2-3 years was a money sink too, right? You're investing in the machine, and then eventually you build it out, and and it's okay. But in the meantime, you have to love what you're doing, otherwise you're not going to last, you know. So for me, I love the geckos, I love the hobby, I love the people that I had an opportunity to kind of build relationships with, and that's what sustained me all throughout Zeros Geckos up until the point where I can just sell full time. So this is the first full year I've been selling full time. It started, I think, last summer, 2024. It was like Anaheim show. Then that was the point where I was like, okay, like this is the point where I'm going to, from then on, pour in full time hours into Zeros Geckos to try to elevate it. And sure enough, like it did well, and I'm very thankful. Um, yeah, yeah, I think you just really have to enjoy what you're doing. Truly, truly. If you don't like the geckos, if you don't like cleaning every day, cleaning every week nonstop, um, downsize and just keep it small. Or if you want to build a legitimate business, then you just have to enjoy it and be okay with not making money yet. You know. So not everything's about money, guys. Like we all want it, and it's very important, but it is, at least to me, not a primary goal. I really don't believe that money is a primary goal or should be when it comes to entrepreneurship. I saw this interview with his name was that the financial guy, the YouTuber that interviews people, Graham something, and he was interviewing Kevin O'Leary, the Shark Tank guy, the bald dude, and Kevin O'Leary was saying like anybody who goes in thinking that entrepreneurship, their primary goal is money, he said they will always fail, right? He says the money comes, but it's not what you're after. You're after personal freedom. You're after create a lifestyle where you're free from, I would say, the tyranny of a boss or something. You're free from, you just have the freedom to do whatever you want and be as creative as you want. You can try different ventures, you can try different things, and that is what we're looking for, right? And that is what I found in Zeros Geckos, and that is what I found in ShipZeros. Both were incredibly expensive investments. And, and well, yeah. I don't want to give out too many exact numbers, but I'll just say that both were very expensive ventures, and ShipZero still continues to be. But what I love is the machine, building it out and running it, right? I love creating the machine, building it out, and then finding different ways to make it operate better in a more efficient way to serve the people that it was built for. So that is what gives me joy. This is why when other people may or may not come after me or whatever, it doesn't faze me, because the motivation is not monetary for me. So if people are trying to like find ways to cut down the business when it comes to sales or whatever, like it sucks, but it doesn't stop me, right? Because I'm just finding ways to shift and finding better ways to do things, because I really believe that there is plenty of space for all of us, whether it's reptile breeders, whether it's in the shipping industry. Dude, like there's so much business to be had in both industries that we don't need to put each other down to bring ourselves up. Like just help each other, like like it baffles my mind that we have some people feel like they have to come after each other, whether it's the shipping industry or whether it's reptile breeding. Is this, I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into it, but yeah, my value is not to put others down so that I can elevate myself. My value stems from what I told you earlier about my cultural upbringing, my religious upbringing. It's really about elevating all of us together, tending to our gardens, beautifying our hobby and our community, finding ways to really grow our hobby and our communities, right? We want to bring more people into the hobby, right? I mean, at least I do, so that more people can enjoy what we enjoy. Why would I try to hoard something as beautiful as animals to myself? Like I want to share it. I want people to see this. I want people to experience, and seeing people at shows come in and getting their first animals. Like we all see that, and we all know that feeling of like, man, it's so exciting for them to come in and experience like these beautiful creatures that we have a privilege and honor to kind of raise. And so yes, I'm gonna build myself up. Like I'm determined. Nobody's gonna bring me down on that. Like I guarantee you, I guarantee you, nobody can stop when my mind is set on something. There's no stopping it. If my wife can't stop me, there's no way some random people online, other competitors is gonna stop me. Like it's set. Like I promise you, it doesn't matter what you do. So I say that with respect because I do that not to bulldoze people. I do that saying I'm going to build whatever I'm going to build. I'm set on it, but I'm also going to help build others up in the community, in the hobby. So I'm determined. So it's one of those things where I think all of us can do well together. To me, it's that simple. So it's complicated and it is simple, right? The idea is simple, but the execution is very difficult. But yeah, just know that I'm for you guys. If you're watching this, I'm for you guys. Truly, I think we can all help each other in the hobby, and I'm excited for it. So cool. Yep. With that, yeah. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Holidays are here. Christmas is around the corner. I mean, I just talked about working a lot, but definitely find little spurts and times of rest to be with your family and your loved ones. And even if you're on your own, just be by yourself and just reset and come back to center and come back to peace and come back refreshed. So I really appreciate you guys. I'm really grateful. I'm really thankful, and I truly mean that. Whether I know you on a deep friendship level or whether I just know you as an acquaintance, like I see you guys and I'm grateful for you. So thank you guys. ShipZeros.com, ZerosGeckos.com, Gecko Pod on YouTube. Subscribe, do all that stuff. You guys know where to find me. Take care, guys. See you soon.